Guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. And today's deck review is actually a review of my own deck. So this is a personal deck. This isn't a deck I plan on publishing, only because the images in these cards are copyrighted. I do not own the rights to these images, so I cannot make copies of this deck. It is only for myself. And I do encourage people to look at trying to make your own tarot deck or your own oracle cards. And I do have a video on some oracle cards that I had made just using, index cards and paint and cutouts from magazines. And I'll put a link to that down below. But today I am going to look at these cards. And so I call this the Athlete's Tarot. I was an NC2A athlete. I'm a track and field coach, nutritionist. I'm also a personal trainer. So I am a total jock. I just so happen to love tarot reading as well. So, there's a lot of lovely decks out there, and I definitely have a ton of beautiful decks and a lot of beautiful decks that really resonate with me and that I really connect with. But there is that athlete, side of me. There is that jock, part of me, and there aren't any decks that really resonate with that. So I decided to make one for myself. So like I said, these images do not belong to me. I got them off the internet and they're just for personal use. Don't plan on selling them or anything like that. So I had these cards made on makeplayingcards.com. And the price was really reasonable. The shipping was reasonable. It came in a reasonable amount of time. It's reasonable. Of course, I get all antsy-pantsy and I want things to, arrive much quicker. But, sometimes you just gotta wait for things that are awesome. And I am so stoked about this. So the cardstock I used, it was a 330 weight cardstock. It was some of their better cardstock, kind of in between a 300 and a linen. So I went with the 330. For the backs of my cards, see if you guys can see here. This is actually where the Olympic flame is kept burning forever. It's the eternal Olympic flame. And this is in Greece. So here you have some of the Greek down at the bottom here, all that crashing around you hear in the background. That's just Wally killing stuff. So I thought this was very appropriate. I used to have dreams when I was younger that I would go on to the Olympics, and I wanted to do the 100. I wanted to win the gold medal. I wanted to just take in the stadium and all of that. But it's very special people who get to go on to the Olympics, and not only are they talented and gifted, but they work their asses off. And so I had half the equation. I could work my ass off, but I didn't have Usain Bolt talent on top of working my ass off. So but anyway, at least I got to know a few people that did go, so that was pretty cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to my Athlete's Tarot. Okay. So, author of the deck, I had a few extra cards made. I actually got the elements made, so I thought this was, really cool beginning to a tornado, and I got this for air for the east, and this would be something beautiful for me to meditate on. I have to have dreams that I'm going down this road in the forest. And so this really resonated with me for Earth to the north. And the reason why I love this picture so much, this person down at the bottom reminded me of that scene in The Karate Kid where Danny is with Mr. Miyagi and they're at the beach practicing, and Danny's trying to look all cool, Daniel-san. By doing that one-legged kick, which, don't lie, all of us at one time have tried that kick. Okay, and then here I have a real cool tube shot of water to the west, and this just harkens back to my surfing days when I used to surf north side at the pier, Huntington Beach. and then just paddle around at Seal Beach because there's absolutely no waves there. You know, going over to the wedge and all. I miss surfing. I really need to get back out in the water. Okay, so I got this for the happy event. So anybody who watches American football knows that if a team wins, it is by right the team's right to douse their coach in the Gatorade bin. Sometimes it's full of Gatorade, sometimes full of water. Who knows? Okay, so I decided to also make an unknown card, meaning it's just kind of up in the air, something we're not supposed to know yet. And I thought a track was appropriate because you never know what's going to happen in a 100-meter race. A 100-meter race for, say, women at, you know, a certain level, you know, somewhere between 11, you know, some seconds, 10, 11 seconds, you don't know what's going to happen in a 100-meter race. You know, you could have your top seed, your top pick. You could have, you know, somebody who's never lost in their whole career get into that race and it's the first time they lose. And you have an underdog who takes the lead and takes the win. So really anything can happen in competition. It's not always the person who always wins. You know, anything could happen. Somebody could pull a hamstring, heaven forbid. You know, somebody could just have an extra dose of adrenaline that day and just, you know, kick some serious ass. So you never know. Okay, for my Chariot, I decided to use a 2016 Dodge Viper ACR. How do I know this car so well? Because this is my dream car and I plan on obtaining it in the next 3 years. Maybe I won't be able to afford the ACR, but hopefully I will just be able to afford the rest of the car. So this has been a dream of mine, and I've been saving my hard-earned cash for it. We'll get into some psychological stuff right now. We'll just pass that by. Okay, so for my death card, obviously, you know, you see the hearse here, but this is a picture that was taken when Florence Griffith Joyner died, Flojo. She was my idol. She actually got to see me run when I was in high school. My mom saw her in the stands. My mom got to sit next to her, and my mom pointed out, hey, that's my baby. She's going to be running the 100 meters. And Flojo told her, oh, I read about your daughter in the paper. I was like, oh my God. And I was starstruck. So yeah, so this whole, you know, just, it deeply affected me, and it was definitely during a transition in my life. So this card has a special meaning for me. And so, like I said, when you make your own tarot deck, it's just so personal. You know, you created it, you chose the images. You know, if you end up creating your own deck, you know, meaning you're the artist, or you gain the rights to certain images and you sell it, you know, maybe somebody else will resonate with your deck. But sometimes it's really good just to have a personal deck. You know, you're the only one who has it, and it's like it's a close friend. So I really encourage people to do that. Plus, I think it's really good in helping you to bond with tarot, and like how do you understand each of the cards? You know, what does let's say the Emperor mean to you? You know, we know what the Rider-Waite-Smith system says. You know, all the other systems that are out there, basically. You have to go with what it means for you, because you are the reader, you are the interpreter of the information that is coming through. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so for the Emperor, I have my main man, Arnold. The Empress, I have Jackie Joyner-Kersee. And I thought this was fantastic for that Fool's Journey. And in this case, this actually isn't the Hanged Man, it is the Hanged Woman. And one of the most badass things that people like to throw on Instagram is people doing crunches off of heavy bags. Okay, so for our Hierophant, we have C.T. Fletcher. If you don't know who this is, you definitely need to Google him. Okay, Arnold again, but this time for the Hermit. Ronda Rousey for our High Priestess. And the 1980s Miracle on Ice as our Judgment. And for Justice, I picked Carl Lewis. That just means so much to me. And for the Lovers, this isn't actually Gail Devers' husband. This is Jackie Joyner-Kersey's husband, who is the coach of Gail Devers, but I more picked this for as the love of the sport, finding your niche, finding where you belong, and the joy that it brings you. And my boyfriend and I are a huge fan of all of the Rocky movies, and Rocky IV is one of our favorites. And so I thought that Rocky Balboa, played by Sylvester Stallone, the Italian stallion, would be perfect for the Magician. Okay, and then here we have the Moon. Some of these cards are not all sports cards, but 90% of this deck is sporty. Okay, we have Usain Bolt for strength with the cheetah, and then I decided to do a second strength card, in case I wanted to switch one out, but this is just kind of a ethereal image of a person running with horses. Okay, Temperance, we have Mary Lou Retton. And then Marion Jones for the Devil. I don't see her as the devil. I love Marion Jones. She's one of my idols, and I was so heartbroken when I found out that the allegations of doping were true, that she had cheated her way through the Olympics. Not that she didn't train hard, not that her intentions were good, but sometimes we get so addicted to winning or the idea of us that it leads us to a bad place. It leads us to question our own morals. So that's why I chose that for the Devil. And then we have Miss Rudolph for the Star, of course. And I actually had a picture of this on my closet when I was growing up. I love freaking Air Jordan. This picture of the tower, this is a tower in Italy just after the recent earthquake. And this is very familiar to me. I think I actually was near there before, not during the earthquake, but before. Okay, for the World, I have Muhammad Ali. And the Wheel of Fortune, I have Lee Iacocca. And if you don't know who this is, definitely look him up. And, what he did for Chrysler. So definitely that wheel, from top to bottom and around again. Okay, so now we're getting into our suits. So this is our cups. I thought that was just great, freaking 4 of Cups. And this is actually a guy going back to a school, or actually his old alma mater, to sign autographs and footballs for students. So that's just great. And then Junior Seau is a hometown hero of San Diego. He did go play for another team later on, but to San Diegans, he's forever loved and forever in our hearts. And this was actually during his retirement from, as number 55, San Diego Chargers. Okay, I'm a high jump coach, so this has a lot of meaning for me. So again, you make cards that resonate with you, that have meaning for you. Other people look at this deck and they're like, what the freak? Okay, so we got our A's. You're so cute. Okay, Greg Louganis was a swimmer at the high school that I currently teach at. And my boyfriend actually got to meet him when he was in elementary school, and Greg Louganis showed up, because the elementary school my boyfriend went to was the elementary school that Greg Louganis had gone to. And so he had brought his Olympic medals for all the kids to touch and see. And from what I hear, he was just a really, really great guy. Okay, and then our knight, we have Michael Phelps. And then our young girl, I believe she's like 16. She's currently in the Rio Olympics, Ledecky. And then Torres having 2 swimming careers. Okay, so for Pentacles, this is my girl Flojo. And then those of you guys that don't know what's going on in the picture, so this guy is bench pressing, and this person here is not trying to choke him with a 2x4. Okay, and then I just thought this was great. Ball hog. And this is Cristiano Ronaldo. It is he and John Cena. That was like kind of a toss-up for, you know, who does more charity, who helps more. But I had Cena for something else, so I was like, okay, we're bringing in Cristiano Ronaldo. It's actually a volleyball player. He's doing push-ups. And then this gentleman, what's special about him is that in the Rio Olympics this year, he was the first person, male or female, in history to win the men's 400 meters, or to win a 400 meters from lane 9. So those of you that aren't familiar with track and field or care, the middle lanes, so that would be like 3, 4, 5, those kind of middle lanes there, those are given to the people coming into a meet or a track event with faster times, and those with slower times are on the outside lanes. So that when you see them cross the finish line, they're in this like V shape, almost like you see birds when they're flying across the sky. So usually people who are thrown in lane 9 or lane 1, these people come in with the slowest times. They don't really expect much out of these people. And this guy just freaking charged it. And he won by a lot. He got a freaking world record. Like, that's just, I think they went straight to the pee testing with him, but I think everything turned out fine. It was just like, oh my God, that's awesome. This is the Harlem Globetrotters. And this is DDP. I am a fan of DDP Yoga, Diamond Dallas Page, with his YRG yoga for regular guys. Definitely check him out. He's a really, really good dude. I got to meet him. He's freaking awesome. The Rock. John Cena. China. And then this was just a great image I found online for the 2 of Swords. Like I said, not every card in here is sports related, but you know, good majority. So in this picture, there's actually another little girl over here, so it would make more sense for the 3 of Swords. But then I thought, well, Hello Kitty, the girl here, and this girl looking on, actually, that makes sense too. We've got crew or rowing. And then I threw in a mermaid because, you know, why not? It's my freaking deck. And my girl Marion Jones. Once again, put in the 7 of Swords slot just because, you know, as she stands there, you know, proud of her accomplishments with her medals, we know that there was some sneakiness that took place in order to get there. Not that the woman's not talented, not that she didn't work hard, but took a little something extra that wasn't allowed. Okay, so here we got this person in like a chokehold, like leg lock wrestling, and he just looks like, what the hell, help, I'm stuck. And then this was neat, I thought, for 9 of Swords. Kind of if you looked into our brain when our anxieties are on the tilt. For 10 of Swords, this, what happens once in a while in all different sports is you will have somebody who will die, you know, in the middle of their sport. A lot of people have died young, you know, athletes who are healthy at the top of their game, young kids sometimes in high school, and it's just, I don't know, it just seems like, you know, just so sad and so young. It's just, it really makes me sad. Okay, you got your ace, your king of course, And Pacquiao, why not Pacquiao? He is freaking king of the Philippines. Like every Pinoy person is in love with Pacquiao. He is like a freaking god. Here we have Alan. He's an up-and-coming UFC fighter. Well, up-and-coming. He's actually kicking a lot of people's asses, but he's really young. Ronda Rousey again. Can you tell I love her? Okay, here's our wands. So looking down track, I also have a kind of a soft spot for cars and things like that too. So those had to make it in. This gentleman here, well, you can kind of see the year and everything on there, was helped across the finish line by his dad. And it kind of cut off the other two girls, but this was the women's 4x100 meter relay. And they won. And fight on the football field. And this comes from the movie Cinderella Man. And this was just great. I love the motion in this picture. This is cool too. I mean, look how old the picture is. Look what year you can guess that it is. And this girl doing this type of physical activity, that's just not proper. Okay, and then here we got our 10 of wands. Arnold looks like he's gonna sort of spot this guy doing a deep squat. I don't think a bucket squat, but just a regular squat, but he's definitely got a lot on his back. Okay, here's our ace of wands. And this is Michael Johnson, not Michael Jordan, but Michael Johnson, who won the men's 400 meters back in 1996 during the Olympics. And then we got Usain Bolt and Degrassi, who is like, I don't know, they say like the young protege to Usain Bolt. And my girl Gail Devers. And the 7 of Cups here. That just kind of got out of order of everything else. Sorry about that. But it's like so many choices, so many choices. Where do I start? Do I start on bench? Do I go to the squat rack? Do I do free weights? Like, what are we doing? All right, so there you go. That is my Athlete's Tarot, a tarot of my own design using images that do not belong to me, and so therefore I cannot recreate this deck for anybody else or sell it. But I am proud of it and I can't wait to use it. And I just wanted to show you guys really quick, which is why it's, you know, kind of late at night and, you know, I got the, you know, I had to get the light and everything, so it wasn't so dark. I actually did one filming outside, but the dog next door just like wouldn't stop barking the entire time. There's a dog that kind of looks like Toto, and his name is Toto, and his owner's name is Dorothy, which is freaking rad. And they also have a golden retriever, and the golden retriever is just barking his head off. So yeah, there you go. So that is the Athlete's Tarot. Let me know what you guys think. I'll put the link to makeplayingcards.com in case you're interested in making your own deck. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them. I hope you enjoyed this. So again, it's not for sale or anything. I just thought it was really fun, and I just wanted to inspire people, give people some ideas about making their own tarot decks as they go about their tarot journey, learning to delve in so that you guys can, you know, we're all on our own little journeys, trying to work on our intuition just so that we can help others, and you know. So I will catch you guys later. Don't forget to click subscribe. Don't forget to check out the information box below. See if you want to catch a reading with me. Check out my Instagrams and all that stuff. And don't forget to click subscribe. So I will catch you guys later. Peace, love, and sugar grace. Peace out.